Welcome to The Author Show, where we feature new authors and books, from fiction to self-help and everything in between. You'll find it all at theauthorshow.com. That's theauthorshow.com. And now let the show begin.
Welcome to the Author Show. I'm Danielle Hampson. My guest today is a teaching family doctor with over 30 years of medical experience who is dedicated to changing the world one young reader at a time. She has authored more than 30 children and medical books. She is French-Canadian and a best-selling author who has won multiple awards, and more than 150,000 readers do love her books. Her name is Dr. Nicole, and in addition to being a doctor, she is also a faculty lecturer in the Department of Pediatrics at McGill University in Montreal, and she is here to speak about her wonderful children books, Felix and Booboo, a series that has been published in English as well as in French. Welcome to the Author Show, Nicole.
Oh, thank you, Danielle. I'm very proud to be one of your guests.
Well, thank you very much, and you are more than welcome. Now, you are a practicing family doctor, and you're also a faculty lecturer. How do you find the time to add writing children's books on your to-do list?
You know, Danielle, when you love something, you always find the time to do it. There's always a story in my head, and I think I don't have any other choice. I've been a family doctor for more than 35 years, as you said, and I realized that there was no book to explain common diseases in the human body to young children. There are books on the market on these topics, but they're for middle grade readers and very skilled readers. So for me, it became my mission. I decided to write books for my young patients to answer their questions. I knew there was a big need for these kind of books.
I agree, there is a big need indeed, and I'm so glad that you take that on as your mission. Now, full disclosure for our audience, you have been on the show before, and you and I met on several occasions, and I'm also your agent. And when we first talked about my representing you, why did you decide to brand your pen name as Dr. Nicole?
It's a good question. When you accept to be my agent, you knew that I had written more than 30 books for doctors, parents, and children. You were aware of my success of selling more than 150,000 books in Canada. So for you, branding my pen name as Dr. Nicole was relevant to my work, because I write some books for parents, for doctors, and for children. So it was obvious that Dr. Nicole was the best branding name for my work.
I also strongly suggested that your Felix and Booboo series, which at the time was available in French only, be translated in English, as I firmly believe that this series could become a great hit here in the United States and in other countries that's where English is spoken. Any regrets?
Oh, no. As my agent, you pushed me beyond my comfort zone. Because for me, writing in French was quite easy. After writing 15 French books and being editor in French for a French medical magazine, I first translated my book Parents for Sale and self-published it. Then I published 2 ballooning books, and I won Reader's Favorite Book Awards. That's where I met you at Miami to receive my medal. And I showed you my French Felix and Booboo picture books, and you fall in love with these books. And you told me that these books may become bestsellers in the U.S. market. When I came back in Quebec, my traditional publisher told me that they would no longer sell my book and gave me back my rights. And with your help, I translated, edited, and published all books in English and French. I don't regret it. It was one of the most important decisions of my life.
Well, would you please give us a brief overview of the Felix and Booboo series so that our audience can understand what Felix and Booboo are all about, and also talk a little bit about the 2 main characters?
My young patients inspired me to give life to my medical instruments. To engage them, I needed a young boy to own my magical doctor suitcase. So I used Felix, which was my nephew's name, and Booboo, the stethoscope. I used this first name because it's the first sound pronounced by a child. So it became Felix and Booboo.
And for what specific age group is Felix and Booboo appropriate?
Felix and Booboo series is written for children aged between 4 and 8. And Mylène Villeneuve illustrated the books. For first readers, I recommend parents to read the narration and let children read dialogue.
So how do children actually relate to Felix and Booboo when they read one of the books in the series?
When children read Felix and Booboo books, they relate to their medical visit or diseases they had in the past, all about their fears and their worries about their bodies. And when they read the books, they expect to read about Tuck, the hammer reflex, as all in the book, Tuck puts himself in trouble and it makes them laugh. And they expect to read about Mr. Long, the tape, who explained in the long sentences about disease and the human body. And they love to read about pill, the pill box, because it's always a surprise about his magical medicine. And also, at the end of the book, there's a quiz, and the children love to test their reading skills at the end of each book.
I'll come back to the quiz in a second, but first I'd like to ask you, is there one very specific message that returns in all the books, or are there multiple messages that will vary from book to book?
The common goals in all books is to educate children and their caregiver about diseases, vaccination, and the human body. However, each book has its own message and stands alone.
So you mentioned the quiz. And there is a quiz at the end of each picture book. What is the purpose of that quiz?
As I told you, one of my missions as a children's book writer is to develop their critical thinking skills. These quizzes are a good tool to help children to challenge themselves about their reading understanding. This is one of the first steps of critical thinking.
And how many books have you written so far in this series?
So far, there are 8 titles on otitis, lice, allergies, broken arm, chickenpox, gastroenteritis, and vaccination. There's also a special book on the human body.
And how do you compare this series to any other existing ones?
There are many books on the human body and children's disease on the market, but most of them target middle grade or skilled readers. There are 100 pages book on human body. No children's age 4 to 8 can read that. So Felix and Booboo filled this gap. It answered younger questions on this topic with their words so they can understand.
Okay, so they do understand better the content of the book because it is age specific. But what else makes this particular series so unique and innovative?
There was a need of children's book market for educational funny. Funny is the most important thing, because if you read the story, it's always a story, and you laugh. You laugh because Mylène Villeneuve, she's fantastic to give life to these instruments. There's emotion in each pages, so they fall in love with the story. Even parents, they laugh when they read it. Even Walt Disney.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because I remember when, as you know, I went earlier this year, I went to China and I took some of your books with me, and I was involved with educators. And I had some of those educators actually at a university read a couple of your books, and they all thoroughly enjoyed them. I thought this is something that is so very much needed. So they really enjoyed it very much, and they laughed as well.
Thank you very much. Do you realize that even Walt Disney doesn't have any book with magical doctor suitcase?
So are you saying you're the first one to do this?
Yes, oh yes, oh yes. There's nothing in the market for that. I'm really, really the first one.
So you are a pioneer. Felix and Booboo is a pioneering series. That's great.
Yes, it is.
So what kind of feedback, Nicole, did you receive so far? We know it's been extremely successful in French, but now, of course, it's available in English. So what kind of feedback did you receive so far?
So far, all books received 5 readers' favorite 5-star. And one of the books, Felix is curious about his body, have just received the Excellence Book Award in Children's Educational Book. Everybody falls in love with the concept and the illustrations. Also been selected by Celine Dion's mother as one of the 10 most Quebec inspiring women because every year I give her books for missions to provide school supplies to poor children. Even yesterday, I went to her office and I gave them 300 books.
Congratulations on all of that. I know you are very much dedicated to their mission there in the Quebec province. Now, in your opinion, why should parents buy the series as opposed to just 1 or 2 books?
A reviewer wrote that Felix and Booboo series is a must-have in all home and school libraries. Visiting the doctor will not be the same again once the books are read out to children. This is a good reason to buy all the books.
And will your fans have the chance to read more of your books in the future? Will there be more Felix and Booboo?
Oh, yes, I hope so. I expect to publish at least 1 book or coloring book per year in the future. My last book is the coloring book of my well-known book, Parents for Sale. But yes, the next one may be on sunburn.
Well, there are plenty of topics to tackle when it comes to children and all of the diseases that they can get and the little accidents that unfortunately they are also having when they play around. So that will give you plenty of chances to reach out for materials for more Felix and Booboo series. So we look forward to that. In the meantime, Nicole, where can readers find out more about you and about your work? And most importantly, where can they purchase your books?
Readers can find my books on my website, drnicolebooks.com, and there's a link to buy the books. For EPUBs, Kindle, or PDF, they can visit payhip.com/Dr. Nicole. All books can be purchased on all major online retailers. For those who wish to buy French version, visit NicoleAudette.com. I'll spell it for you because Odette is not easy. AUDET.com.
Okay, so it's NicoleAud as in David, ET as in Tom.com. And that would be for the French books, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and Dr. Nicole Books with an S.com for all of the English version, correct?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Dr. Nicole, thank you for spending some time with us today. And when you release your next book, whether it be Felix and Booboo or any other one, will you come back again to us?
Oh, for sure. I would love to come back to your great radio show. Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you. Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, let me finish with an excerpt of a long review left by a reader. Quote, "Many, if not most children fear doctor visits, whatever the issue. The Felix and Booboo stories can put both a parent and a child's mind at ease about their visits to the doctor. A checkup, a vaccination, a broken arm, well, that's usually scary. All of these seem to bring pain, and if you don't know what's happening and why, it's even scarier. The Felix and Booboo series, written by a teaching family doctor, helps to alleviate some, if not most, of the fear. I would highly recommend reading the books together, parent and child, well before any doctor's visit. The fun, easy-to-read stories tell both parent and child what to expect, what a doctor is looking for, and why things work the way they do. Those of us who aren't in the medical field often do not have any idea what the tools of the trades are and why they are used. These books are colorful and make the tools into friends with names and characters. Everything then becomes more friendly and easier to understand. Enjoy Felix and Booboo and all their other friends. Make a trip to the doctor an enjoyable experience for both of you. Well, that's a raving review indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, please visit theauthorshow.com to find out more interviews with authors and also to find ebooks and print books to read and even audiobooks to listen to. You will also find many of our interviews on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitchers, Blog Talk Radio, and other media platforms. I'm Danielle Hampson. Thank you for listening, and please do join us next time for another great book and another exciting author on The Author Show.
Thanks for listening to The Author Show. Find out more about authors and their work at theauthorshow.com. Theauthorshow.com. Tune in next time to another great author on The Author Show.